Hey, it's Jason with jamzDOTnet, cars, DIY, and adventures. Thank you for tuning in. Behind me is my 2022 Winnebago Travato 59G, and I just finished close to 2,000 miles traveling between 4 states and all over the Blue Ridge Mountains. And let me tell you one thing, I got in some tight spots, and I got in some spots where I actually got stuck and had to have a farmer with a John Deere tractor tow me out. I am now gonna carry with me this guy. What is this guy? Why is it sticking to the van? This is a dual channel camera system that is wireless, that will magnetic stick to the vehicle, so I can put it up when I get in those tight spots again. Let's go unpackage it and see how it works. Okay, what we have here is the AutoVox. This is a wireless magnetic camera system setup. The Travato is on a Winnebago ProMaster, on a Ram ProMaster 3500 chassis, and it has 2 cameras. However, it only has cameras in the back, and I got in some pretty tight spots in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Out of the box, you get a little camera setup guide, an extended warranty if you register it, I suppose. Mounting hardware, I'm going to explain what this is. Mounting brackets, I'm going to explain what these are for. You get USB charging cables, you get 2 cameras, you get the mount for the screen, more screws, the charging cable, the power cable for the screen, more brackets, antennas, and more antennas right here, little tiny nub antennas. And then you have more screws, and then of course you have the mounting screen, the display screen. Now you might be saying, why on earth do you need mounting hardware if your vehicle is magnetic? Well, not every vehicle is magnetic. Some have fiberglass where you want to put it, such as my G20 van. It's a fiberglass high top. You would actually use these mounting brackets if you cannot use the magnetic functionality. And what would happen is this would screw in, and then the camera, there's a hole at the bottom where you can secure it for security. The camera is going to magnetic to it, and then you can screw right here with one of the security screws. So that does give you a level of nobody can yank it off, but in my application, I am not going to be keeping these cameras on all the time. I would be only hooking them when I get in those spots that need it. So I will be using camera 1, I will be using camera 2. I will not need the security mounts, I will not need the mounting hardware for my install. That leaves the 2 antennas, the big ones and the small ones, and the USB charging cables, and then the power cable for the actual install. Now on the screen, you're going to use these little nubby antennas, so I'm going to go ahead and screw those down like so. And then on the cameras, you're going to use the bigger antennas, and I'm going to go ahead and screw those down as well. Now keep in mind, the camera is going to mount like that, so I'll kind of position it like so. Let's go ahead and pull off the thing protecting the screen. Now the camera itself has a little bit of weight to it. A bit of that's probably the battery, obviously, and the magnetic. It is soft on the magnetic side, so it shouldn't scratch your paint unless you have some grime on it and it's sliding. You have your USB-C charging port on top. I've already charged these, at least one of them, and your power button to cut it on. So presumably you can just cut it on and stick it. It's the exact same setup on the second camera. And then on the screen, you have this cable, which will run and connect to the cigarette light adapter, which actually provides your power to the screen. Along with the screen, you do get a platform that you can hook it to. I am not going to keep this mounted permanently, I don't think. I guess we'll decide. So there's a high probability I may not use the mounting bracket, and I'm going to keep this kind of tucked below and pull it out when I need to maybe take a look at it in those tight situations. So outside the van, I have the camera right there that gives me decent view. However, I was getting into some sticky situations in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So what I could do is I could come out, I can press and hold the power button, and I can cut the unit on, and you're gonna see it turns blue right here when it cuts on. And I could literally say, you know what? I wanna keep an eye on this side. I'm gonna hook one camera right there. And then I can take this and I can do the same process, and I can mount it on that side. So that's giving me left and right total visibility on each side. So this gives you a good idea of how the camera looks. I have one on each side, and you can really get a good sense of them right there. And just like that, you can see it. Channel 2, that's the camera on the passenger side. I can scroll down to channel 1. That's the camera on the driver's side. Or you can keep these dual views open, just like so, to really see everything. You can press mode on the back, and you can change all kinds of things like brightness. You can actually do a recording, so you can have a recording. But let's go to settings, and you can say, you know what, I want to change my date and time, and you can just go in here and say, you know what, today is, what is today? I don't even know. It's August 10th. So by default, it looks like it is recording. So that's kind of cool, I suppose. So let's go back here and we'll scroll over to record. And you can see that recording, you can change it to on or off. And the way I'm using these, I don't really need guidelines. So I'm going to go ahead and just say guidelines off, because I'm not using them necessary to reverse. I'm using them to see left and right, basically additional eyes above everything. Now, I had somebody ask about latency. I have the camera in my hand. You can see the screen here. I don't really see any latency, even when it was on the van and farther away. And this is a 21-foot van, so it was 21 feet away. So I see zero latency of the actual unit. Now this setup is $103 from Amazon. They claim when fully charged, the battery will last 20 hours. It's quite a while. But something super cool, USB-C charging, but the top of this is a solar panel. It will slowly recharge the battery when mounted in full sun. That's a major plus. Now, would I drive down the highway with these magnetic? Not on the side of the van. I think there might be too much wind. On the back of the van, absolutely. I probably won't have any concern. The other thing that I think is really cool about this application, I can take this and I can plug in, as an example, I'm just going to plug it into my Jackery, which is right next to me. Even when plugged into my Jackery, I can see everything. So why am I mentioning this? What's the point of that? I'm not driving. Why might I want that functionality? I mean, quite simply, you could hook these cameras up. You could be inside of your van, and you could just have video surveillance. If you're camping alone, if you're in an area you've never been to, or maybe you're just in a parking lot or something, and if you hear something crazy outside, you don't need to cut the car on, you don't need to go outside and investigate. This little screen could just be sitting right here in your camper van, and your two cameras could show you exactly what's going on. So for $103 on Amazon, magnetic, no drilling required if you can magnetic it to the vehicle. It took me 2 minutes to install, a 20-hour battery, and it's solar. recharges. Granted, it will be slow and you need full sun. I think this is a great buy for the camper van. And for me, if I get in those tight predicaments again, I can just pop these on and I can go through the width of those trails on the Blue Ridge Mountain that are incredibly tight with 2 sets of eyes, 1 on each side of the van. This is Jason with jamzDOTnet, cars, DIY, and adventures. This is the AutoVox $103 wireless magnetic camera setup, battery powered with solar charge. I like it. I think it's a good buy for the price, and heck, it's super easy. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.